Every human life begins within the limits of biological necessity. This baseline existence is driven by physical survival, a state containing no unique identity. For a human being, biological birth alone fails to integrate us into the human world. We possess an impulse to push past mere organic existence and actively insert ourselves into a shared reality. We do not do this because we are forced by biology or because it produces material gain. We choose it freely. This deliberate insertion is what Hannah Arendt calls our second birth. Hannah Arendt's analysis of the vita activa, the active life, maps the specific process by which this second birth is achieved. Without this voluntary insertion into the world, our lives remain strictly biological. Philosophically, a life limited to private survival is dead to the human world. Arendt identifies two specific mechanisms for this insertion: speech and action. Together, these reveal the core paradox of human plurality. We are all identically human, yet each of us is entirely unrepeatable and distinct from anyone who has ever lived. This distinctness cannot be expressed through survival labor or by fabricating objects. Building a chair or harvesting a crop yields a functional, interchangeable result. The object tells us nothing about the unique identity of its maker. Speech and action operate differently. They are the only activities that require us to reveal our unique distinctness to an audience of our peers. Plurality is the essential condition of political life. It transforms a collection of generic organisms into a community of distinct agents. To understand identity, look at the left column, the what. These are the qualities and demographic tags we share with thousands. Then there is the who. This is the unique, unrepeatable essence of an individual, revealed only when a person acts or speaks. Arendt identifies a critical blind spot here. Our vocabulary is engineered to describe the what. This makes it almost impossible to describe the who without reverting to a list of generic traits. The ancient Greeks understood this through the concept of the daimon, a guiding spirit over your shoulder. Your true who is often hidden from your own eyes, but it is glaringly obvious to everyone else watching you act. Because the who lacks a fixed definition, it remains vulnerable to systems that prioritize functional efficiency over individual distinctness. Modern warfare provides the ultimate evidence of this vulnerability. The monument to the unknown soldier represents ontological erasure. It captures the moment where the who has been obliterated, leaving only a body in a uniform. The industrial machinery of war stripped these individuals down to their most generic what. They were ground down into mere physical bodies wearing mass-produced equipment. Arendt observed that these monuments are a society's desperate attempt to honor a missing who when only the what remains to be buried. Systems that reduce a human entirely to a functional what have effectively stripped them of human dignity. Look at this network model to see where action occurs. Arendt calls this the inter-est, the intangible in-between binding people. Action never occurs in a vacuum. Every time someone acts, that deed flashes into a pre-existing web of human relationships. Fabrication offers a clear contrast. Making a table follows a predictable sequence with a definitive end, resulting in a tangible physical object. But when an action enters the web, it instantly collides with the intentions of others. Because action reacts with people rather than materials, it doesn't yield a physical object, it produces a story. Human affairs do not operate like a factory. They exist as a boundless web, continuously generating unpredictable, intertwining narratives. Because every action triggers a reaction in others, the results within the web are inherently boundless, unpredictable, and irreversible. This creates a paradox. The stories generated in this web clearly have a hero, the person who initiated the deed, but they possess no single author or maker. Arendt found the analog for this dynamic in the ancient Greek theater. The Greek word for acting, drawn, applies identically to the stage and the political assembly. Like actors, political agents do not follow a pre-written script. They generate the plot dynamically through their interactions. History is exactly this process. It is a vast narrative generated by millions of actors, completely devoid of a master storyteller. This authorless unpredictability causes deep, systemic anxiety for rulers who desire total control. Theorists often invent mechanisms like the invisible hand or the world spirit to impose an engineered purpose on the unpredictable outcomes of human action. This is the fabrication fallacy. Rulers attempt to violently separate action into two isolated functions: arcane, meaning to begin or to rule, and practane, meaning to merely execute orders. This intellectual error has ancient roots. It substitutes the safety of making an object for the inherent danger of acting freely among equals. Modern political ideologies often replicate this structure, attempting to steer the course of history through centralized design. When we divide the initiative of arcane from the execution of practane, we transform the political actor into a mere tool. In this hierarchy, participants stop being distinct who's and become interchangeable materials in a single designer's plan. This collapse of plurality is the cost of absolute political control. To exist politically requires us to reject the illusion of control. We must instead embrace the frail, unpredictable, but miraculous reality of human action.